For centuries, the Catholic Church has stood as a pillar of faith, a global institution of immense power and influence, guiding billions of souls. But behind the sacred rituals and ancient traditions, what secrets lie hidden? What truths are concealed beneath layers of history, politics, and power? Today, we pull back the curtain to explore the side of the Church that few ever get to see. This isn't about faith, it is about the institution and the questions that have echoed through the halls of the Vatican for generations. Let's start with the Vatican's secret archives. The name itself just sparks curiosity, right? Officially renamed the Vatican Apostolic Archive in 2019. This place holds millions of documents spanning over 12 centuries. Now, the Church maintains it's simply a historical archive, but the super-restricted access has fueled endless speculation. What could possibly be inside? Some theories suggest it holds suppressed gospels that challenge the very foundations of Christian doctrine, or maybe even definitive proof of historical events that have been deliberately altered. Others get even wilder, speculating about secret letters with world leaders that could rewrite modern history, or even evidence of contact with extraterrestrial life. While a lot of these ideas sound like something out of a movie, the sheer secrecy surrounding the archives really makes you wonder. The official story is that these documents are too fragile or sensitive for the public to see, but for many people, that explanation just deepens the mystery. This air of mystery feeds into a world of compelling conspiracy theories. One of the most enduring is the theory surrounding Pope John Paul I's death back in 1978. He was pope for only 33 days. The official cause was a heart attack, but the Vatican's refusal to conduct an autopsy and the conflicting reports about who found him led to widespread suspicion. Theories started flying around suggesting he was assassinated because he planned to expose corruption within the Vatican Bank, or maybe uncover a network of Freemasons who had infiltrated the clergy. Was his progressive vision a threat to the established order? The questions are still there, unanswered and officially dismissed, but they persist in the public consciousness. It's a stark reminder of the intrigue that can surround the highest office in the Church. Then there's the complex world of Vatican politics. The Holy See isn't just a religious center, it's a sovereign state with its own diplomats, political interests, and internal power struggles. The process of electing a new pope, the conclave, is a perfect example. Cardinals from all over the world gather in total secrecy to cast their votes, a process completely shrouded in tradition. But make no mistake, it's also a highly political event. Factions form based on geography, ideology, and personal ambition. Behind those closed doors, debates rage over the future direction of the Church. Should it be more conservative or more progressive? How should it handle its immense wealth? These are not just theological debates. They are political battles for control of an institution with over 1 billion followers. The outcomes of these power plays can have huge impacts on global politics, social issues, and the lives of people everywhere. The internal politics are as complex and, at times, as ruthless as in any government you can think of. Beyond the theories and politics, the last decade has been marked by real, documented scandals that have shaken the Church to its core. The most devastating, of course, have been the widespread clergy abuse crises that erupted all over the globe. From Ireland to Australia, the United States to Chile, horrific stories emerged of abuse and, just as disturbingly, a systematic cover-up by the Church hierarchy. Bishops and cardinals were accused of shuffling abusive priests from one parish to another, silencing victims, and prioritizing the institution's reputation over the safety of children. While the Church has made public apologies and brought in new policies, many critics argue that the response has been way too slow and that real accountability, especially for the leaders who enabled the cover-ups, has been lacking. These weren't just isolated incidents but a systemic failure that continues to raise profound questions about power, accountability, and the culture of secrecy within the institution. And then there are the financial scandals. The Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, has been tangled up in controversy for decades, facing allegations of money laundering and even ties to organized crime. In recent years, major financial scandals have continued to pop up. One really prominent case involved the purchase of a luxury property in London using hundreds of millions of dollars, including funds that parishioners had donated for charity. This whole deal led to a historic trial right inside the Vatican, even indicting a cardinal on charges of embezzlement and abuse of office. This case just blew the lid off the opaque financial dealings and the internal turf wars over the Church's vast resources. It painted a picture of an institution struggling to reform its finances and root out corruption, often with powerful figures resisting any change. These scandals show that the temptations of wealth and power can exist even within the holiest of places. The silence surrounding many of these events is often as telling as the scandals themselves. Stories that initially make headlines can just quietly fade from public view. Whistleblowers who try to expose wrongdoing have often faced retaliation, finding themselves isolated or pushed out of their positions. Journalists and investigators who dig a little too deep can face immense pressure. This pattern of suppression raises a critical question: how does an institution of such global stature manage to control its narrative so effectively? Part of the answer lies in its centuries-old tradition of handling matters internally, away from the public eye. It's a culture that values loyalty and discretion, but one that critics argue has also allowed wrongdoing to fester in the shadows. That wall of silence can be incredibly difficult to break through, leaving so many truths buried and so many questions unanswered, from secret archives to political maneuvering, from devastating scandals to the persistent silence that surrounds them. The Catholic Church as an institution is far more complex than it appears on the surface. It is an organization of immense spiritual significance to billions of people, but it is also a human institution with very earthly struggles over power, money, and control. Exploring these hidden corners isn't an attack on anyone's personal faith. Instead, it is an effort to understand the full picture of one of the most powerful and enduring institutions in human history. The questions we've raised today aren't meant to provide all the answers, but to encourage you to think critically, to look beyond the surface, and to keep asking why, because only by asking the difficult questions can we ever hope to find the truth. Thank you for watching. If this journey into the hidden side of history was eye-opening for you, please like, subscribe, and share.